I, 32 male, have a complicated relationship with my brother Dean, 33. He's the only sibling I have and most people assume we should be close, but he bullied me for most of our lives. I gave him some chances over the years, but he never grew or stopped. There were people in my life who brushed it off as teasing and siblings getting under each other's skin. He'd make fun of me for not being athletic like him and he called me a loser for it. He'd say I looked like I was skinny as a kid actually, running, and how fun it would be to trip me up. He'd start laughing at me if I did anything like exercise, and our parents had cameras, and he'd try to take pictures of me and say he'd spread them around school. I had some stomach issues as a kid and he'd tell his friends I crapped my pants a lot and then spread it around school. There were a few occasions during school when he'd loudly ask me why I was sitting in my crapped-in pants and why I didn't have pull-ups or something. If I ever had friends over as a teenager, Dean would try to humiliate me with other embarrassing stories. He did the same thing when I brought home my first girlfriend in college. For a few years he'd taunt me and say he slept with my ex that time I brought her home. He'd say I'd die a virgin and no girl could be with me because I was too weird and too much of a nerd. I wouldn't go home because of this stuff and I told my parents I wasn't going to let him treat me like that. I now see that they never did their best by me either and let Dean get away with a lot. They never took sides, but that meant saying nothing while he'd treat me like crap and try to humiliate me. Sometimes they'd tell me he was maturing, and I tried, but he didn't mature. Still hasn't, and I gave him another chance recently. That brings me to my wife. We've been together for 6 years, married for 4 and have 2 kids. She knows my history with Dean and told me I deserve better. But then she met Dean at my parents' house, sat through him doing the same crap, which made me insist we leave early, and then she started talking to him online and became actual friends with him. They text and make plans, and I'm so hurt by that. She told me I don't get to police her relationships and how she thinks it's good for them to connect because he has kids with his wife, and we have 2 and the kids deserve to know each other. She also told me they have stuff in common and make good friends. I told her that given how he treats me, I would have expected her to stay as far from him as she can, and I said it hurts that she's become friends with him. She said that when she met him it was just different and he's an idiot to me but not a bad guy overall. I told her I didn't like it and that we needed therapy together to talk through all of this because our marriage couldn't survive if she insisted on staying friends with him. She asked if I'd really consider divorcing her over her friendship with my brother, and I said yes. I told her she was stabbing me in the back with that choice. She told me I was crazy and controlling, and she told her family, who thinks I'm selfish for even considering tearing my family apart over this. My friends and 2 of my cousins, who know the score and agree my brother is a huge idiot to me, think my wife is wrong and that it's understandable if I can't stay with her because of this. But I know this is a huge thing and it will hurt my kids. I also know I've questioned whether my wife and Dean are having an affair. I've read some of those messages and they don't seem flirty and most of their plans are online, but even if it's just a friendship, it does feel like a betrayal to me. Am I the idiot for considering divorce over this? Not the idiot. He's trying to do that thing he did with your first girlfriend. He knows that getting close to your wife will kill you inside. That's why he's doing it. Your wife is crushing on him hard. I think you're naive to think this is some little friendship they have going. I'd say check her phone, and I don't think you'll find anything because he's probably directing her to an app or having her erase the messages. Whatever, he's going to spring that on you when you least expect it. His own marriage be damned. And your wife will be shocked because she truly believes he likes her. Bro knows he doesn't need to get his wife to sleep with him. Just becoming her friend will ruin their marriage, and that is his goal, and the wife is happy to help. I'd be talking to a divorce attorney if they continue to talk. Marriage is built on trust, and I could never trust my spouse again. Yeah, your wife sucks. She can make other friends, or find a new husband. But I put money on him trying to win her over to hurt you and then dumping her. She doesn't care about you. She blatantly told you she noticed he's an idiot to you, but not bad overall, and therefore, oh well, he isn't mean to me. It doesn't matter how he treats you as long as it doesn't inconvenience me, ignoring that she's actively playing into him more and more mind games against you. He's making her feel like he's the better version of you and she's falling for it. Once he ruins your relationship, he'll leave her too. 100% this is a power play by Dean. My fiancé, 23 male, and I, 23 female, plan to get married in October of this year. I'd like to start off by saying I'm not looking to end my relationship with my fiancé. I'm a vegetarian, my fiancé and his parents are not. This has never been a problem for me, him, or his mother, but my father-in-law has always been weird about it. For example, whenever we all go out to eat and I order something vegetarian, he always gives me weird looks. He always tries to convince me to eat meat, saying things like, "You're really missing out. You know you want some of this. That fake meat will never be better than the real thing," etc. Yesterday, my fiancé and I invited his parents over to our house for dinner. I made spaghetti and meatballs for my fiancé and his parents, and spaghetti and vegetarian meatballs for me. I put them in 2 different pots and put them both on the table. When his parents were grabbing their food, his father happened to grab the spaghetti and meatless meatballs instead of the real ones. Now, here's where I might be the idiot. After I see him put the meatless meatballs on his plate instead, I decide not to tell him. He sits down, finishes the whole plate, and even gets a second helping. Once his parents left, my fiancé and I cleaned up, and I told him about the whole fake meat thing. My fiancé gets really mad at me and immediately calls his dad. His father then calls me and starts berating me on the phone, saying I'm a psycho and my fiancé should leave me for trying to poison him. I tried to defend myself by saying I wasn't the one who gave him the fake meat and he grabbed himself, which is 100% true. My fiancé says I should have told him which was which, but I genuinely don't see the problem. I know he isn't allergic to soybeans or anything, so I don't see the harm in trying vegetarian food once. I think I might be the idiot because my fiancé usually defends me when his father and I get into arguments like this, but the fact that he didn't worries me. So, am I the idiot? Your fiancé's immediate reaction was to get mad and call his dad to tattle on you. Are you sure you don't have a fiancé problem? I go with everyone's the idiot here. The father-in-law is an idiot who should give you the respect to make your own choices. You were the idiot for not informing everyone so they could make their own choices. Everyone make one meal for everyone or inform everyone what is what. Your fiancé was the idiot for tattling on you like a child. I find it strange that they would go to a vegetarian's home, dine with a vegetarian and not think some of the food was vegetarian. Did they not see her eat the meatballs? Did they assume she was no longer vegetarian but not say anything about it? It's odd for a father-in-law who makes a comment every chance he gets about meat to let that slide. Also, I'd be eyeing the fiancé heavily for his reaction. It's vegetables, y'all. What is their deal with calling it poison? Not the idiot. Did your father-in-law not notice that was the bowl you were eating from? Did your fiancé not put it together? Your mother-in-law? You weren't the only one at the table who could have mentioned it, and why didn't anyone ask what the difference was? Also, I agree with others. Tattling on you and then not defending you as your father-in-law yelled at you are red flags from fiancé. Man, this whole anti-vegetarian thing is so embarrassing. It's solely based on toxic masculinity and men feeling like becoming a vegetarian is unmanly. They seem to forget they eat vegetarian things all the time. Mac and cheese pizza, fries. But all of these manfluencer people try to say that not eating meat means that you aren't manly. How fragile is their masculinity that they accidentally eat something that was good enough to have 3 portions of and act like they've been poisoned? Does he fear that eating vegetarian food will turn him into a girl? OP, this has nothing to do with being vegetarian or not. Your fiancé and his father treat women like crap, and the women in their life allow it. Don't be that woman. You're 23. You're practically an infant. Dump this jabroni and go find a real man, because this guy ain't it. My son is getting married to a Hindu woman. We're a non-religious family, so he's opted to embrace the traditions of his partner and her family. As such, the wedding will be a full-on traditional Hindu wedding. I've been asked to wear the traditional clothing of their tradition. It includes a skirt-type piece that I don't like. I told my son I'm not comfortable wearing it since it's not my culture. Plus, in my country, I want to dress like my countrymen. But it seems there's a hard stop to this since I need to wear it to participate in the religious ceremony. I've told them I'm more comfortable wearing something with trousers. That isn't the tradition. They've accepted that I can wear trousers, but my son is stubborn and wants me to wear traditional clothing. My wife is very excited to be wearing traditional clothing, and so are my daughters. I'm just not keen. Why the idiot for not wanting to wear Hindu clothing to my son's wedding? Edit, I believe I need to wear it because I'll be on the stage participating in the actual ceremony. You are the idiot if you attend the ceremony and don't conform to the dress code. This would be true for any wedding. Dude, get a grip. It's not a freaking skirt, and you're not going to become transgender just for wearing it. You're the groom's father, but you're acting like the sullen teenage younger brother who doesn't want to wear a suit. It's a religious ceremony. You don't have to be part of it if you aren't comfortable with it, but it's incredibly rude to insist on attending and refusing to follow the bride and groom's wishes. I'm pretty sure the reason that your son is insisting is that your future in-laws don't want to be too demanding, so he has to stick up for his bride. Agreed, it's part of the ceremony. If he wanted to attend and observe, he wouldn't be asked to wear the traditional garb, and that he can change clothes for the reception if he wants. This is a completely normal and reasonable ask by the bride and groom. Don't be in the ceremony if you don't want to wear the correct clothing. Agree with everything you said, and just want to add that it's very common to change clothes between the ceremony and reception at Indian or Hindu weddings. So there is the option of wearing Indian clothes for the ceremony and changing into something you're more comfortable in right afterwards. Most Indian weddings have a big break after the ceremony, but even if there isn't, you can change during cocktail hour. That's what me, my SO, and all our parents did at ours. OP sounds like a petulant child. I'm sure over his life he's had to wear plenty of uniforms in order to participate in ceremonies or work, and I doubt many of them were actually comfortable. As a parent, there's little I wouldn't do to see my son happy. Wearing a piece of clothing to show respect and love seems like an easy and trivial thing. My cousin James, 25 male, came to visit me, 25 female, and my husband, 26, last weekend for his birthday. We celebrated James's birthday Friday night, and on Saturday he said he would go have dinner with a few friends of his in town. He specifically told me his plans were to go and have dinner with them and come back to my place afterwards to stay in and watch movies. He left my house at around 4 p.m. He texted me around 7, asking when a respectful time to return would be as he was spending the night at my house. I told him that I know it's his birthday and he's with his friends he doesn't get to see often, and he's an adult, so I'm not going to give him a curfew. I just told him to call me and let me know when he was on his way back so we could avoid him ringing the doorbell and waking up my son. At 2 a.m, when bars typically close, I texted him when he was going to get back. I didn't get a reply. By 3, I figured he was sleeping at his friend's place, so I went to bed. Before going to sleep, I texted him to let him know where the spare key was in case he was still coming back. I then went to bed. At around 4 a.m, I woke up to someone ringing our doorbell. This woke up my son and he was scared and crying. My husband and I woke up irritated. I looked at our camera and James was outside ringing our doorbell. When I opened the door, James was fuming. He was mad that I'd locked him out of the house when I said I would be there to let him in. I asked him why he ignored my text as I told him where the spare keys were, and he said his phone had died and I should have just given him the keys before he left. James was getting very loud, so I told him that he had to calm down and go to sleep or find somewhere else to sleep. James went to our guest room, grabbed his things, and slept in his car. Earlier this week, I was talking to my sister about the situation, and she called me the idiot because I told James that I would wait up for him and that I made an intoxicated person sleep in their car. I feel justified, but James is also still not talking to me. So, am I the idiot? Edit, the reason I didn't give him the spare key right away was honestly I didn't think about it. The original plan was for him to go out to eat with his friends and then come back to watch some movies with us and have a night in. When he texted me to see when a respectful time would be to come back, I figured respectful would have meant like by midnight. But I guess I didn't communicate that with him either. Not the idiot. You were in contact with him, his phone dying isn't your fault, and did he expect you to stay up until the wee hours of the night for him? He's not a child and you're not his mom. He shouldn't have made a commotion because you were annoyed. You asked him to calm down and go to sleep. Very reasonable. His sleeping in his car was his choice. And a lesson for next time someone is staying over, give them the spare key or tell them where it's located ahead of time to avoid the mess of everyone getting woken up at ungodly hours. I agree with this, except for giving out your spare key or even placing it outside. He could find a way to copy, keep it, or come back while you're asleep with some random woman or stranger in your home. Also, James needs to act like a big boy and keep his phone charged. He was intoxicated and loud and still could have come into the house to sleep, as you had offered. He didn't have to sleep in his car. James needs to learn how to be a better guest at someone else's house. And your sister's take is stupid. He should be embarrassed by his behaviour, and he owes you an apology. You were supposed to stay up waiting till 4 a.m? Get out with that. I, 34 male, met my wife, 32, 5 years ago. She was $60,000 in debt from credit cards, personal loans, etc. A while ago, after we got serious, I helped to get a consolidation loan from Consumer Credit Card Relief. I actually paid it all off on her behalf through them. Monthly payments, the whole deal. Things were great for about 2 years. We got married, bought a house, and life was good. Then I started noticing packages arriving daily. She got secretive about the mail. Bills were being hidden. When I finally confronted her, it turned out she'd racked up another $45,000 in debt across 7 different cards. I was devastated. We tried counselling, financial and marriage, but she kept spending behind my back. She even opened a card in my name. I filed for divorce last month. Now her family is blowing up my phone saying I'm an idiot for abandoning her when she needs help most. Am I the idiot for walking away? I feel like I tried everything and she betrayed my trust repeatedly. Not the idiot, you've been helping her from day one. Unless she helps herself and you decide not to be her ATM, this marriage worsens for you. Report the identity theft to the police now. Freeze and lock your credit, separate and move your money from any account she has access to, and talk to a lawyer now. She broke any trust by opening a card in your name without your knowledge. Dave Ramsey talks about this. It's called financial infidelity and it's a very serious betrayal. Her problem or addiction comes out as shopping. She's got deep-rooted issues and is willing to wreck you financially instead of facing it. It's sad, but I'm not sure what you can do if she won't change or get help. But this is a form of addiction. She needs help for sure. She needs her own therapy. This is about more than your relationship. It's about her mental health. And yes, her family can support her during this time if you don't want to. That's okay. It's your life too, and this is an exhausting path. I wish spending addictions were as recognized as other addictions. But my man, you should have seen this coming. You got her to get help paying it all off, and then you paid it off for her. So she didn't do it alone and then didn't feel the pain of her mess up. You solved her problem for her, and from that timeline, it doesn't seem like you took time to see whether she changed her spending habits and learned anything.